So the Miami Heat now have a 3-1 lead over the New York Knicks. It looks like there's a pretty high probability that the Miami Heat, the 8th seed, are going to be moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals at some point. Who knows if they'll win Game 5? Probably not. Going on the road. Knicks back against the wall. Miami probably going to relax at least a little bit. Then again, they didn't do that against Milwaukee, so we'll see what ends up happening there. But looks like Miami's going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. Insane. Let's break down Game 4 here really quickly. And you come out in the first half, especially the first quarter, and the game just has a completely different feel from Game 3. Game 3, an absolute slugfest. Neither team shoots it well. You look up at the end of the first quarter, and the scores, 30-31. You're like, okay, like we're going to get some offense here. These two teams' offenses, they look really, really good. We look at Miami, it just seems like everybody is contributing. Jimmy Butler finishes the game with 27. Bam Adebayo plays his best game of the series, scoring 23 points, pulling down 13 rebounds. Max Strus shot the ball well. Caleb Martin off the bench shot the ball well. Kyle Lowry had 15 off the bench. They got contributions from everybody who played in the game tonight offensively. And so you're sitting there, especially early, and you're like, man, like this is going to be like a high-scoring offensive type basketball game. And it was not. The final score ends up being, 109-101, Miami taking the victory. And going into the fourth quarter, it felt like a high-scoring basketball game. And then, the Heat start 3 of 15 from the field in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks start 3 of 12. And, it goes from this fast-paced, up-and-down style of game to really slowing down, which I think favored Miami. They were able to get out on the break and get some really easy buckets, a lot of easy dunks and things like that. Whereas when you let the New York Knicks set their defense, obviously it's much better. It's the same thing with Miami, right? Knicks got a lot of easy buckets in transition, pushing the ball after makes, forcing turnovers, things of that nature. And that's why we had such a high-scoring affair in those first three quarters, whereas in the fourth quarter the game finally slowed down, which I think is what both teams kind of wanted, so that they could set their defenses and really kind of lock it in. So game slows down in the fourth. That's why it wasn't nearly as high-scoring. And then Miami grabs 8 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter. And that just kind of feels like the series. That feels like Miami this entire year just doing a little bit more than their opponent. They did just enough to scratch their way into the playoffs. Then they do, more than enough to beat the Bucks. And, this game and last game feels like they just did just enough to grab the win. They won this game by 8. They didn't do anything crazy. Like, they only shot 47% from the field. They only shot 33% from 3. They only made 4 more threes than New York, but they both shot a really similar percentage. They made less free throws. They got rebounded them by 9, but 9 rebounds isn't anything crazy. Just small things here and there. The effort at the end of the game was incredible, and I want to highlight Bam Adebayo, because when Bam Adebayo shoots the ball well and is a legitimate threat on offense, this Miami Heat team just takes on a whole new identity. He's 10 of 17 from the floor, 23 points, 13 rebounds, as already mentioned. Had 4 turnovers, but, it happens when you have the ball in your hands that much. I thought he played really, really well. He moved without the ball extremely well. He got so many dunks just from moving without the basketball. That little free throw line jump shot he has worked. He had a couple hook shots. Best game of the series that he's played. I thought he was awesome from start to finish. We know what he brings defensively. Bam Adebayo played fantastic. Jimmy Butler did what Jimmy Butler does in the playoffs. 27 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. Getting his teammates involved, shooting, effectively from the floor, 9 of 17 from the field, 8 of 9 from the line. Just continuing to be an absolute menace in these playoffs. I thought Kevin Love played really well. He had 8 points. I thought his defense was good. I thought he rebounded well. And, his limited minutes, only played 23 minutes. Still rebounded really, really well. And then the bench, if you're going to point to any one thing as to why this Miami team won, the answer has to be the play from the bench. When we look at the Knicks bench combined to score 10 points. Kyle Lowry by himself scored 15, and Caleb Martin by himself scored 10. That bench combined to score 32 points for the Miami Heat. Just the depth and the defense and the grit and the offensive rebounds late just really, really showed up. Kyle Lowry, we're talking a lot about the transformation that Jimmy Butler's had these playoffs in terms of his scoring ability and the things that he's doing. Kyle Lowry's had a really similar kind of transformation in the playing game. He has a 30-piece, scores 15 off the bench here. He's just been a very steady presence for that second unit for the Miami Heat this entire playoff run, and it was no different tonight. He had a couple big shots, had the little weird offensive foul thing there, hook in Hart's arm, but that's beside the point. Miami Heat, really impressive. We'll see if they can finish off the Knicks in 5 and punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals, where that they're hoping to play the Boston Celtics. Now let's talk about the Knicks and how disappointing they were tonight. Let's talk about how disappointing Julius Randle was, because when we look at the other two the other two options offensively for the New York Knicks, they were both really, really good. Jalen Brunson finishes the game with 32 points and 11 assists. I thought RJ Barrett played really, really well, really efficient, took really smart shots. I liked the way he played offensively. Wasn't super great defensively, but that's an issue that we can talk about another time. Let's talk about the good stuff first, okay, Knicks fans? Let's focus on the positive before I just rip them to shreds, okay? 24 points. I thought he took really good shots. I thought he took open shots. He didn't really try to force anything. Finished with the right hand a few times, which I know is really nice to see. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I thought he played well. And then the third guy. The guy who's not supposed to be the third guy, but was the third guy tonight. The guy who fouled out with about 3.5 minutes left to go in the game. The guy who turned the basketball over 6 times. Julius Randle, 20 points, 9 rebounds. You can't turn the ball over 6 times. You can't do it. Okay? That's a recipe for losing when one of your two best players who has the ball in his hands a decent amount of times turns it over 6 times. You're not going to win basketball games. Simple as that. You are not going to win basketball games when you do that. And look, it says that the Heat only had 15 points off turnovers. It feels like they had a lot more. When we look at the number of turnovers in the game, if I can find it here. Why is that not popping up? That's beside the point. I can tell you right now that the Knicks turned the ball over. They turned it over 16 times. There it is. Look at me. I found it. It felt like way more than that, which is the number of easy buckets that the Miami Heat got off. The Knicks didn't get back on defense when they did turn the ball over. It just felt like there was a lack of effort on things like that. Meanwhile, when the Heat would turn the ball over, the Knicks would get a breakaway. All 5 guys for the Heat running back, trying to get back on defense. Meanwhile, when the Knicks would turn it over, or there's a long rebound and the Heat would get out and run, Jalen Brunson's the only guy running back on defense. That's an issue. That's an effort issue, which you usually don't see from teams coached by Tom Thibodeau. That's not what his teams do. His teams play hard. They do all the little things, and this Knicks team just hasn't done it. They didn't do it this game. Didn't feel like they did it in the last game either. And yeah, that's why they're losing. It's these little things. It's turning the ball over, not finishing possessions off with a rebound. You can't do those things and win. Can't do it. So Julius Randle got to be better. Other guys for the Knicks got to be better. I thought Quentin Grimes played okay. Thought he defended well, hit a couple shots. Mitchell Robinson, he's got to grab more than 7 rebounds. That's unacceptable. He played, over 30 minutes tonight, and he only grabbed 7 rebounds. That's unacceptable. He's the biggest guy on the floor, one of the most athletic guys on the floor. He can't finish the game with only 7 rebounds. That's unacceptable. He has to be better. I thought Obi Toppin had a good 6 minutes. I thought he defended well. He scored a couple buckets. He was 0 of 2 from 3, but I thought offensively he fit in there just fine, moved without the ball. He got a couple easy shots. I thought he moved the ball well. Kind of surprised that we didn't see more from him and his athleticism. That's another guy who can rebound the basketball, which once again the Knicks did not do tonight. So Josh Hart, he got in foul trouble, so it was tough for him. He only scored 4 points. He wasn't super great. You got to have more from the Knicks other guys if they're going to win these games. If they're going to come back from down 3-1, which this team can do. Okay, they're talented enough to do it. They're more talented than Miami. I'm going to stand by that take. They have the talent to come back from down 3-1 against this Miami Heat team, but they have to do the little things. They have to defend. They have to get back on defense when they turn the ball over, and they have to rebound. If they got to get something from their bench. 10 points from your bench, not going to cut it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back again later tonight breaking down the Lakers and Golden State Warriors game. Make sure you subscribe so you can catch that. Make sure you like this video. Comment below. Do the Knicks come back? Or do the Heat finish them off in 5? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all again later.